Hello and welcome back to my channel. If this is your first time here, hi, I'm Cassidy. If it's not, thanks for always tuning into my videos. It is the best time of the month. It is TBR time. So we get to play TBR Snakes and Ladders, or Snakes and TBR Stacks, which is my Snakes and Ladders inspired TBR game. If you don't know the rules, I'll put the first video down below that goes over all the prompts and rules, but it's pretty self-explanatory. If I hit a ladder, I get a reward. If I hit a snake, I have to add another roll. Nice and easy. I think you will be seeing this a little bit early because I will be focusing on vlogs coming up, so I just kind of wanted to get this out here and not have to worry about filming it, putting it up, and doing all of that stuff. But before we get into the actual rules for the TBR game, we do have to talk about how I did last month. I had the easiest TBR of my life last month. It was about 2,000 pages, 4 books. One was a mood read, and I didn't complete it. I didn't come anywhere close to completing it. And I do have time left in the month, but I already know I'm not completing it because it is the 20th, the day I am filming this, and I've only read 2 books so far. I have DNF too. Yeah, so we're not even going to pretend that I have the ability to finish this because I do have vlog content coming up, which has nothing to do with reading the books that were on my TBR. So we're just gonna take the punishment and do 6 rolls instead of the 5. But here we are. Let's get right on into it. First, I need to do the Cup of Chaos pick, which is now in this cute mug that Bobby got me. I'm scared. Sabriel by Garth Nix, which is Cece's pick. So first off, I did the Cup of Chaos pull, which I got Sabriel. Sabriel by Garth Nix, which was Cece's pick. So the Cup of Chaos is my top tier patrons all get to put a book in there for me to read. And then I have 2 months to read this one. But that is the first book that's like guaranteed to go on the TBR. Hopefully I can get this on with the rolls. 7. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Multi-POV'd. Okay, we can do that. So with our first roll, we got multi-POV'd. Pretty much the easiest prompt to ever exist for myself. I am filming my dragon reading vlog for this coming month, so Dragon Mage by ML Spencer. Rachel told me it's multi-POV'd, so I'm trusting her, and if it's not, we all blame Rachel. I'm just kidding. But here we go. Dragon Mage. Dragon Mage follows a ram who is a orphan misfit from a small fishing town, but he discovers that he has these abilities and he goes to school, the training academy, to become a dragon rider, and he fights for respect and might become the champion, the caliber of a mage that is like unheard of these days, and kind of, you know, save the world. Sounds very Chosen One trope and classic fantasy with the dragon rider love too, and so I'm very excited to read it. I am also a co-host for a book club. Well, I'm a guest host for a book club where we will be reading this. I will put all the information down below. It is a book club about reading fantasies written by women, and this is their first pick. The live show is in November, but if you want to check out the announcement video and where to see the live shows, I will link that down below. 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. An odd book. Okay. The second roll was odd, and for this I'm putting Nettle and Bone by T. Kingfisher. This is our unofficial official book club pick for the late night crew. We will be reading this all on sprints together at some point during the month. There are 2 reasons I'm picking this book. One, because it's just an odd book for me to pick, because it's a retelling, and if you know me, you know I really don't like retellings. And it's a low fantasy, a little whimsical, all anti-buzzwords for myself, but I was interested enough that I said we could pick it for a late night crew pick, and it's short, so I should be able to get through it quickly. And then also Mel, who's read a couple T. Kingfisher already, said that her books tend to be very odd in general and just kind of like weird and strange, so I think that this fits really well. I honestly know nothing about this book besides that it's a retelling and that lots of people love T. Kingfisher. So here we are. If you want to know more, the Late Night Crew Discord is linked down below. We pick a book every single month to read together. We all buddy read it. We read it on sprints, spoiler free, but then we also talk about it in the Discord. We have little channels. It's a lot of fun. Come join. And we read all a bunch of things. We've read thrillers, we've done fantasy, we've done romance. It just jumps around whatever we're feeling like that month. Roll 3. 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Gods. And our next roll, we landed on Gods. And for that one, we have Aragon, which I'm a little unsure. Obviously, this was on my TBR last month. I did not get to it. I'm a little unsure about this one. I was trying to figure out what to put for Gods, and Rachel said that the Dragon Riders are kind of godlike. They're pretty much immortal, and she thinks it happens in book 1. So I'm counting it. It could be a little bit of a stretch, but it's good enough for me. I think I may be slumping a little bit for summer. Not necessarily, like, I tend to think of slump as a negative feeling towards books, and it's not that I have that, so I don't really want to call it a slump. I'm just really freaking busy, and so I'm really trying to embrace the mood reader in me, but I also have some vlogs to get out, and I'm trying to focus on vlogs during that time. This is for one of those vlogs, so it's going on the list. 4, 2, 1, 2, a recommendation. Then we got recommendation, and for this one, I'm using Scribd by Garth Nix. Not only is this the recommendation from Cece as the book club pick, also from Ro from Wandering Through World. Always just talks about this book, and I know a lot of people who want me to read it, so I feel like it counts as a recommendation. I'm not entirely sure what Scribd is about. It is a YA book about a girl who receives a cryptic message from her father, who's kind of like the person between, like, for the spirits to go into death, if that makes sense. And she now has to go help her father, who is trapped in death, and save him from the sinister free magic entity that has somehow ensnared him. Scribd must prepare to enter death herself and find her destiny. Enter the Old Kingdom, a world of dark secrets and dangerous magic. I'm intrigued by this one. It's an older YA, so I think it won't fall prey to a lot of YA tropes. Does this necessarily mean I'm gonna like it? Probably not, because I find that YA just isn't gritty enough for me, but I'm willing to try it, and I'm excited to try it, and hopefully it will be a good one. 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Extreme Weather. And then we got Extreme Weather, so for this one I'm putting Bitter Twins, which is the next pick for the Backlist Book Club. This is technically the July book, but the live show is August. It is, I can literally tell you the date. The live show will be August 14th on Beck's channel. Time to be exactly determined, but typically morning, 11 a.m., 10 a.m.-ish for me. This one is just a weird ecology world in general, so I feel like it counts as extreme weather because there's like, I don't even know how to explain it. It just, like, the world is dying, essentially. I think it counts enough for me. I think I might be changing this prompt in the future rounds to something a little bit more vague or specific. I don't know, like, extreme climate maybe instead of weather is the better way to phrase it. Just that there's things that are out there that are abnormal and a little bit on the extreme level in terms of, like, climate and where they are. Ninth Reign was a 5-star read from me, and so I'm very excited to continue. Ninth Reign, I don't even know how to sum up what this book is about. It is an odd book. It is sold as fantasy book, but it also has a lot of sci-fi in it. It's got a little bit of horror-ish. Not really, but, like, I know a lot of people do think it does, and it's just paranormal and weird and fantastical, and I thought it was amazing. I was so intrigued by the world and figuring out everything. I would like to say I have a whole live discussion which has a spoiler-free part on my channel for the Backlist Book Club, but I was just always intrigued, and although I knew in this book I kind of knew all, like, the twists and things that were gonna happen, the journey was so incredible that that didn't bother me in any way. It is a multi-POV'd, and I don't even know how to explain it. We're following this world where these, like, aliens come every couple years to, like, kind of annihilate the planet and take over it, but then we have this, like, godlike vampire species that push them away, but something happened and now the vampires are starting to die, and the alien species hasn't come back in a really long time, but they've left, like, remnants of themselves on the world, and you're just kind of following what is happening and investigating it all, and it's really interesting and really unique. I don't think I've read a book this unique in a really long time. Yeah, I'm super excited to continue it. 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. A 5-star prediction. And then the last roll, we landed on 5-star prediction, which is super easy except for that I'm having a crisis, and every book that I picked pretty much was a required read for this month, and having this free option that is really broad because there's so many books that could be a 5-star prediction for me, I'm stressed. I'm feeling it. So I'm doing something that I don't normally allow myself to do, and I'm gonna give you a little MBR for 5-star prediction and then let myself choose as the month goes on. I'm so busy. I have a festival the first weekend of August, and then I have a wedding and a live show, and then I have a weekend off actually because I had a wedding get cancelled, and then I have another, and then the last weekend of August I have 3 weddings back to back. So I am a busy bee, and I don't think I'm gonna have a lot of time to read, and so if I'm reading things that I'm forcing myself to read, I don't think I will be as excited. So I'm really letting myself lean into mood reading with this. I don't know if I will take a punishment if I fail my TBR this month just because of that, and I don't know. I'm just gonna let myself be chill, so here's a couple options that I think would work for a 5-star prediction that I might want to read. We have Blood of the Chosen by Django Wexler. I'm currently reading the first book in this series, and I'm loving it, and I'm super excited to continue, so this is on there. The first book follows a brother and sister duo. The sister was taken when she was young, and now fights for the Empire, and the brother is scarred by the Empire coming to take his sister, and now fights against the Empire, and it's a really, I love this, like, trope, and I want to see the dynamic between the two of them grow, and I'm about 50% through the first book, and I'm really enjoying it. It is another book that is so freaking unique. Although it is fantasy, it has those sci-fi elements. We have some, like, unique type of blasters in here. It is a sapphic relationship in the first one. The main character is gay, and I'm really enjoying it. I will definitely be telling more people to read it, I think, and I think that this one could be a good one for me to pick for a 5-star prediction. These two beasts that I feel like I talk about all the time, the Bladed Faith and the Pariah, although I don't think either got a 5-star prediction based off the first chapter, I think in general the books for me are a 5-star prediction, so both of these are on there. Don't really know what to tell you about them. They're here. The Bladed Faith follows a prince who sees his gods and his parents and his country kind of like slain and taken away from him. He's held as a political prisoner, and when he gets the chance to like have revenge and enter the rebellion, he does that, but it's not all that he thought it would be. The Pariah follows our main character, who is an outlaw, but an outlaw fighting against the Empire, but when something happens, he ends up working for a politician in the Empire who can see like demonic dreams of an apocalypse, and our main character must survive and kind of fight his way through and deal with like the intrigues of politics and court in order to get his revenge. We have Jade War by Fonda Lee, which is the second book in the Green Bomb saga, which is 100% a 5-star prediction. I'm really excited to continue this. It was on my TBR last month, but I did not get to it, so there we are. The Green Bone saga follows 2 rival clans who are fighting over their territory and politics, and they can also use this. They have the power to use jade to like make themselves stronger. It's kind of like a drug, but then there's also a drug now on the market that helps everyone now use it instead of just the Green Bones. We have House of Always by Jen Lyons, which is the 4th book in the Chorus of Dragons series. I'm very excited to get to this book. I don't know how I haven't read it yet because of the cliffhanger at the end. This is 100% a 5-star prediction. The Chorus of Dragons starts with Runa Kings, which is a story about Kieran, kind of telling his life story. Kieran was a peasant boy and then somehow realizes that he actually might be related to like a prince type figure and might actually be like royalty, but not only do like the politics of the royalty and the court kind of want him, there's also something about gods and demons, and they all kind of want Kieran, and Kieran could be the chosen one, but he also could be chosen to destroy the world. It's convoluted, it's fun, it's weird, it's humor, it's full of humor. It's done in a very weird way, and I'm very excited to see where this series is gonna go next. Another Anthony Ryan is Waking Fire. I actually don't know too much about this one, but it is a dragon book, so I think that I would count this as a 5-star prediction. We could also maybe put Legacy of Steel in there, which I read the first book last year and gave it a really high 4 stars and loved it, but this is I think too chunky that I won't get to it. But I'm creating a really large list to keep my options open. The sequel to Dragonflight should be getting to me in August, so I could also do that one. Yeah, I'm not entirely sure. As long as it's a book that I think would be a 5-star prediction, or if it's on one of my 5-star predictions lists, I think I will count it and not punish myself too hard. I really just kind of want to embrace the slumpity jumpity-doo and my busy schedule and not put too much pressure on myself. Most of the time I'm trying to read so much so that I can get content out to you guys. I have a pretty insane posting schedule. Although it's not official, I try to post every 2 to 3 days, which ends up being a lot of videos per month. And I think I need to maybe slow the roll a little bit, at least while I'm busy. And especially if I'm focusing on like long form vlogs or something, it's harder to get those like really easy, fluffy sit down videos out if I'm trying to do vlogs instead of those. So I think that I will be happy if I read a little bit less and have less content for you. You know? Like, I don't need to push myself to read too much just for content. I'm not participating in a single readathon this month, besides, I think Rye's talking about doing a Patreon one based on Jenga, and if that falls on a weekend that I can do, I will participate. But other than that, I'm not planning a single readathon. I know there's Magical Readathon, there's Polarthon, there's Final Book Support Group. I'm a little bit on readathon burnout, and I was going to participate in Magical Readathon, but when looking at the prompts I needed for Beast Slayer, they just didn't work for my reading taste, and me specifically, and the mood I'm in, and the busy schedule I have this month. So yeah, I'm readathoned out. I'm taking a little break and gonna just see where life takes me and go back to just like my love of reading and those reading roots. And yeah, thanks for joining me. That is my entire TBR. Well, it looks sad because I think I only own these 3. But I do have Nettle and Bone and the Bitter Twins and then whatever 5-star prediction I pick. I'm not giving you a page count or anything this month just because of that 5-star prediction. It'll change it so much. I'm hoping this is doable. I will probably get an audiobook for a couple of these to listen to in drives and stuff. And yeah, if I fail this month, I might need to take a break off of Snakes and Ladders because I don't know the last time I finished Snakes and Ladders. And I did really good for a while, so I wonder if it's just like, I don't know, maybe I'll go down to 4 rolls with like 5 if I don't complete my TBR instead of 6. I think that could give me a little bit more wiggle room. I love playing Snakes and Ladders, so I don't think I'll stop or anything. But I think especially if Becca's Bookoplathon has if we do Bookopoly in September, like I think she did last year and she normally does, I might not play Snakes and Ladders next month and only play Bookopoly. But we will see. I mean, setting a TBR is fun whether or not I finish it, but I do feel bad when I don't finish it because, like, what was the point in telling you what books I'm gonna read? If I didn't read it, I may as well set, like, an MBR. Those are the books that I hopefully, fingers crossed, will read in August. If you'd like to connect with me on other platforms, my Bookstagram, my Book Twitter, my Goodreads, and my Patreon are all linked in the description bar below. Have yourselves an absolutely remarkable day.